What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily, presented by Greg Miller Industries for Monday, October 2nd, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pure one at Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
How are you?
I'm great.
So
I feel a little out of place.
Well, it's that thing, when we started Kinda Funny Games Daily, we were like, the morning show will be the shenanigans. Kinda Funny Games Daily, we'll still have shenanigans, but not in the usual sense of people interrupting, arguing about lunch, talking about whatever they think. And so we've been good, I would say, for something, I'd be 70 episodes now, because Gary Widow was episode 69.
Yeah, he was very, of Games Daily?
Yeah.
There's been 70 episodes?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's daily, but wow.
Yeah, right? No, it snuck up on us.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so
on 69.
Thank you very much. This is the time when it bleeds over. Of course, we've been joking around about Greg Miller Industries, about the fact that I was going to hire someone from the community to come here and delete all my PSN friends for $50 and a spot on my list and all, free lunch or whatever. And then I really did it. Brought in 3 folks. This is the uniform for Greg Miller Industries. Of course, we got Cheeks Jr. How you doing, Cheeks?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I don't think they can ever hear you on these things, right, Joey? They gotta yell, right? No, whatever. Hey, Rock. Nothing much, man. How you doing? Good. And Snow Mike.
Hey, Greg. What up, y'all?
So they're back there. Cheeks, of course, deleting all of my PSN friends. A-Rock deleting all of Jen's friend requests. And Snow Mike, if you're watching live, just accepting anybody who writes in to @Nick Scarpino on PSN. So that's what they're doing back there. They're here to have fun. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about before jumping into your questions, comments, giving you perspective, really analyzing the news of the day. Of course, you can watch us as we do it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, but we don't look at the chat. The only way to be part of the show live is to go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so at the end of the show, we can read your corrections, set the record straight for everyone watching on youtube.com/kindafunnygames later, or listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you, Tim. Cooking with Greggy is up, a new episode on youtube.com/kindafunny. It's my wings, my 2017 wing recipe. And then if you want to go to patreon.com/kindafunny, you can get episode 4, the best steak you'll ever eat. And you can support us at the fan mail tier on patreon.com/kindafunny and get the Team Fat Apron along with a personal letter from me. Also, a lot of people throughout the weeks have been writing in asking if I will be at New York Comic Con. What I've been able to say up until recently was, I'll be there. I don't think it's part of New York Comic Con. It is not part of New York Comic Con, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to New York on Thursday. I am co-hosting WWE plus IGN Esports Showdown. This is where WWE superstars like Xavier Woods,
Woo!
the one and only AJ Styles,
Woo!
and Sasha Banks
Let's get it.
we'll be competing in video game stuff. I'm there co-hosting. I don't want to say too much about it because there's a whole bunch. It's a really cool event. If you're in New York and want to spend the night with me and a bunch of wrestlers, it should be fun. You should come do it. There's information up on IGN. I've retweeted it. I'll keep doing that. Oh, we're hosting it on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Live reactions from Joey and Cool Greg.
I love it.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So that'll be a lot of fun. Wherever you want to consume it, we'll be there. But if you're in New York, come hang out. It's a free event. You got RSVP, though. IGN's got the details.
I want to add something to housekeeping. Two things, actually. Game Over Grady Show, episode 200 with Max Landis is live now on Patreon or going topic by topic on youtube.com/kindafunny. Sure. And episode of the Gamescast is now live for everybody on youtube.com/kindafunnygames with Elise Willems from Funhouse. Yeah. Great episode. Everyone requested that she be on the show. She did that and an episode of GOG with us. Crazy. That'll come later. Yep. So check it out.
For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. A-Rock almost seems like he's not a fan. Like he just like got dragged into this by one of his friends. He's like, I'm a fucking. All right. 2 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Thank you, Cheeks. Number 1, Tim.
Yes.
There's a new version of the PlayStation VR headset coming.
A what?
This is via the PlayStation blog. A hardware update to PlayStation VR is being prepared. The new version, model number, and this rolls right off your tongue, CUH-ZVR2. Features an updated design that enables the stereo headphone cables to be integrated with the VR headset and a slimmer, streamlined connection cable. There's also an updated processor unit that supports HDR pass-through, enabling users to enjoy HDR-compatible PlayStation 4 content on a TV without having to disconnect the processor unit between the TV and the PS4 system.
Good.
This function can be used only when the VR headset is turned off. This is a FAQ put up by Sid Schumann. Then it goes on to say later on in it, We will share details on the launch timing in North America at a later date. The pricing of the PSVR bundles will remain the same. Interesting that this came up, and then like the second story on the PlayStation blog was, hey, we're going big at Paris Games Week. We're going to be streaming the whole our media showcase October 30th, 8 a.m. Pacific time on PlayStation. I'm sure we'll be having something to do with that too. I don't know if we want to come in early and watch it, but we probably do because we're crazy people. Yeah. What do you think, Tim? New VR use.
It's interesting. I mean, it's like the DualShock 4 revision where it's like this isn't even like a PS4 Slim type thing.
No.
This
is hey, we're
really,
iterating.
really minor tweaks where it's just a model number change. It's not like even a PSVR Plus or PSVR S or whatever you'd call that. Little changes that mean a lot to people that care about them. And I feel like people that care about PSVR, chances are they are the people that care about this. I remember Anthony Carboni was really upset in the beginning.
Stuff.
When this was all first an issue, especially once the PlayStation 4 Pro was the thing. So.
And that's the problem, right? Is the people who care about it are going to care about it, but it's also the issue I feel. If you care about it and you're an early adopter, do you feel screwed over? Like, do you want to show that or no?
I want to show it.
All right, cool.
That looks really damn
Andy
good.
Cortez has a show called Party Mode.
Ever heard of it?
We all love it a lot. You should watch it on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, and he just got his first Party Mode shirt.
Wow, that's so hot.
Couple weeks, that'll be on kindoffunny.com/store. Andy, very proud of you. It's a big deal.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Deal.
Like
he got a shirt.
He got hired here, made a show, and now he's got a shirt for it. John wrote in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can, and says, "Good morning, Kind of Funny Games Daily Crew. I just read that the new PlayStation VR hardware will be released this month with minor changes." I didn't see this month anywhere, so heads up on that. One of which is very important to me. He goes on to talk about how the HDR pass-through is a big problem for him. Now, a year later, Sony is releasing an updated headset and breakout box that has HDR pass-through and apparently a slightly redesigned cable. That's all well and good, but because they redesigned the cable as well, they've made it impossible for early adopters to purchase a new breakout box to gain the functionality we should have had at launch. How is it possible that they've screwed this up 2 years in a row? I understand that being an early adopter comes with some level of risk and potential buyer's remorse. But this seems exceptionally shitty, considering how huge of an oversight it was to release two major pieces of hardware within a month of each other last year that were inherently incompatible with one another. I would gladly pay $100 for a new breakout box, but since they aren't giving me the option, I suppose I'll have to sell my current one to buy the new one if I want to continue supporting the format. That's an incredibly frustrating and inconvenient solution to something that, in my opinion, never should have been an issue to begin with. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for everything you do. Kind of Funny Games Daily has become my favorite podcast to commute to work to. Keep up the good work, John, New Hampshire. So yeah, to reiterate, because I cut out one paragraph thinking that it was going to go too long, it's the idea that you have the PlayStation 4 Pro because you're so cutting edge. You have this VR because you love this thing. People plugged them in. Like, HDR doesn't work when this is plugged in. Anytime I want to use HDR functionality, I have to go and unplug my HDMI from the VR unit, put it into the TV, and then when I want to go back to VR, keep doing it. My big problem, right, in quotes, with PlayStation VR is the fact that there are just too many steps right now. I don't want to rip down the unit and bring it over here and go get these cables, and you can't leave them set up all the time and all these other things. Not even the HDR functionality.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be more people like John, or more people who are just like, oh, this is cool?
Oh, I mean, if we're talking majority, I think the majority of people aren't even going to care. Yeah. This is not even the type of thing that is like, oh, we made these fixes for people. It's like they made the fixes to just keep selling the unit and like to future-proof going forward.
Sure.
It sucks that, the early adopters are getting fucked over, and it does suck because I agree that this oversight should not have happened.
Sure.
Especially when these units were put out so close to each other. It reminds me of the SNES Classic, where it's like, why is the cable still too short? That is one. It sounds like Nintendo fixed the production supply to an extent.
Yeah.
So that's all well and good, but I was trying to play mine this weekend, and it's a bother, and it makes me not want to because I need to go back and fuck with the HDMI cords and all that, and it's just like that step makes you not want to do the thing. And I think when it comes to PSVR, like what you're saying, it's like, that is so shitty of an experience to not only have to unplug and replug it in PSVR when you use it, but to then change it when you want to use your HDR and your PS4 Pro and all that stuff. It's not even PS4 Pro, even the normal PS4 has HDR. So,
my apologies.
Yeah.
As someone who never turns any of that stuff on, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right, though. I do remember them patching it in. My apologies.
Yeah, it does. But PS4 Pro, obviously, it should, if the other one wasn't compatible for whatever reason.
Let me just toss in John's paragraph that I cut like an asshole. In my opinion, Sony really screwed up last year when they released the PSVR headset without the ability to do HDR pass-through. I am fortunate enough to be an early adopter of both the PSVR and PS4 Pro, and I have a nice 4K TV as well. Needing to completely unplug the PlayStation VR breakout box and switch cables around behind my entertainment center to switch between VR and 4K HDR games has resulted in me not using my VR headset at all since April. Holy crap. It's been extremely frustrating with its design flaw since launch.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. It is upsetting, and it sucks because I feel like this type of stuff happens all the time, especially with early adopters, where you get something and the new one comes out, and it's especially insulting when it's not even a new version. It's the same thing, just with the minor tweaks that are quality of life things that would really go a long way.
Here's my thing, and I totally, again, write in kindafunny.com/KFGD if you don't agree with me. I'd love to have an ongoing discussion like we do with this show. Personally, jumping into PlayStation VR, I think my concern was it was going to be like Move. It was going to be like Vita. It wouldn't be supported. It'd be gone in a couple years. And maybe that still does happen. But it was also the fact of, I'm not really bitching about the wires and stuff. I knew going in that was going to be a thing. And when I moved and didn't have the spare bedroom that I was using as the VR setup anymore, even when I did, I wasn't using it all that often. And when the games do come that I really, really want to play, like I do really want to play this superhero one where I'm flying around putting out tornadoes or whatever. It's got a terrible name and I forget it right now. When I do get into that, I'll make the exceptions and break that stuff out. I don't know. I mean, it is the simplicity of, man, I wish it was plugged directly in. My counter argument would be for John, and I'm not arguing John's points, but would it be used even more if it was plugged in? I feel like it's like when you finally disconnected your Wii U or your Wii or whatever, where it's just, this thing's been sitting here drawing power and being plugged in forever.
Yeah, I think it's more.
It's just another hoop, I guess.
It's just another hoop. It's just another thing, especially when PSVR doesn't have like AAA games coming out left and right. It's just that one step that makes you go, maybe I'm not gonna do this. And it's like, it reminds me of my Xbox One. I barely use the thing, and now Cuphead's out. I've been waiting for it forever, and I'm like, I had to do this whole rigmarole to get my Xbox set up because I don't have it. I don't have enough HDMI ports to have all of my Chromecast, PS4, Switch, like everything set up. So I had to go back and like do all that, and it's cumbersome. It's like that is just that one step where I was like, should I just play Golf Story?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was Cuphead, so of course I did it.
How was it?
Man, it was such a disaster. The Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Because I haven't played, which means there's firmware updates. And there's controller updates.
Update your controller, that's right.
And all this stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, like I just want to fucking play Cuphead. Once all that shit eventually finished though, like, should I talk about Cuphead now?
Sure.
Cuphead is everything I wished it would be. All the issues I had with it, absolutely gone. Oh, thank you.
We're trying to be better at time codes.
Man, I was so worried once they, when it was just boss fights, I was like, I want the mad platforming. Then they added platforming. I'm like, the platforming is not that good. The platforming is fucking awesome. They made sure, Cuphead, in my experience, I'm halfway through World 2. It is kind of a greatest hits of old school trial and error platform, like shoot 'em ups.
Yeah.
And it's so brilliantly designed. Obviously, it's beautiful. Obviously, all the presentation of it is some next level shit, from audio design to visuals to just the film grain, everything. It's so great. But the platforming levels and the boss fights feel like the best parts from those old school type of games, and it never gets to a point where it's too much in the level. They're bite-sized enough that doing them over and over and over again doesn't get
it's not a chore. It's like
it's not a chore. It's like you know what you did wrong, and every platforming level has some gimmick that the other one didn't, that you have to learn and get used to, and every boss fight as well. And I'm having a great time with it. There hasn't been a single moment where I was frustrated and it wasn't my fault.
Sure.
Like I feel like
you can get back there and fix it.
Every single level, whether it's platforming or boss fight, I play it, and the first couple times I'm like, I won't be able to do this. Like, this is way too... And then you figure out the pattern. You're like, oh, man. And it brings me back to all the best moments I had growing up of figuring it out and then finally beating that boss and having that fuck yeah moment.
Sure.
And it scratches a nostalgia itch in a way that isn't just like, oh, it's like the old thing and it's back and retro. It's like, no, this is recreating the experiences that I remember having. And again, it's cut down to just being the right parts of it. The levels don't go on too long. The boss fights don't go on too long. And one of the most frustrating things for me was back in games like Contra. is you have to get through this hard ass fucking level and then beat a hard ass fucking boss.
Exactly.
And it was like, and if you lose at the boss, you got to do the whole thing again. This having it segmented where it's the platforming levels are their own challenge, the boss fights are their own challenge, and just reset. It is so satisfying, and it's just it's brilliant game design. And I was worried playing the platform levels at E3 and at events over the last couple of years, and there's just something about it. I feel like it when you're not doing co-op and you're not on a show floor and you're able to just focus.
Yeah.
It is just so well designed, and it makes me want to keep playing. I've been thinking about it. I can't stop.
Wow.
Wanting to go back and play this game.
That's
and
awesome.
it is really good. I thought that no matter what, it'd be in the like 7 to 8 range for me. It's in the 9 to 10 range for me.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, I haven't beat it. I'm still going through it. So
How many worlds are there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think there's 5
Okay.
based on some context things that I've seen. But yeah, man, it's such a good time. There's so much heart, so much care into it. It is just fucking, I recommend it so highly to people, and keep trying. If it's frustrating, I definitely think that it will click eventually. I do have problems with it, and the biggest one is I feel like the controls they can be cumbersome. You definitely have to claw it a bit.
Okay.
Because you're always using the jump button and the shoot button, but then there's the dash button. So it's I don't know the Xbox controllers, but X on, if it was a PlayStation controller, is jump, square is shoot, and then triangle is dash.
Gotcha.
It's kind of hard to hit all 3, at the same time. I know people can hit me, but that's the big thing.
So ABY.
God, I wish I could use a PlayStation 4 controller for this game. Using the Xbox One controller, that D-pad is just not meant to be used like this. And just the offset analog sticks, like, man, a DualShock would just feel even more in control and better about it. But the biggest criticism I have is I don't like that the shooting mechanics are stuck to a rigid 8 cycle where you can only shoot in those angles.
So you don't have 360 degrees.
And the game feels so like a modernized version of like what we used to have. That feels like kind of an oversight, but the game's designed around it, and I get all that, and it's balanced for that. But I still feel like it'd be a better experience if anywhere I wanted to shoot, I could, especially coming off of like Metroid Samus Returns, where that was one of my favorite things about it, was the fluidity of the movement and all that stuff. It definitely, there's a lot of times I've died and a lot of times that I miss shooting things, and I feel like I wish and I should be able to hit that, but I can't. So my one minor criticism, but damn, this game's good.
I really appreciate you using the PlayStation buttons.
Yeah, that's all I got in my life. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Guys.
No, it was one of those things of like, oh, Tim's in a PlayStation G, and I appreciate that.
That's what I do, man.
But see, what gets me is I can look at PlayStation, obviously know it. I look at Xbox, know it. A, B, X, Y. It's when Nintendo's flipping them all the time.
Well, my thing is I'm a Nintendo boy.
See,
so
that
the
makes
Xbox
sense
stuff
to
gets
you.
even more, it gets more difficult for me because A and B are in different places.
When we started using the Switch, and like I was like, I'm like, yeah, great. And it's like, hit A, and I'm always hitting the wrong button. I'm like, fucking Jesus.
I mean, on Xbox, even now, I'm hitting the wrong button.
Yeah, see, Nintendo broke you. I understand. Now I see how it makes sense.
Yeah.
Glad I took time off Nintendo. Off Nintendo. Now they just got to conform to everybody else. Second item on the Roper Report, Tim. Mm-hmm. The Nintendo Creators Program is apparently banning YouTube live streams. Have you heard about this?
I have.
This is according to Gaff. Gaff put up over there this email that's been going around from Nintendo Creators Program to everyone else that's in the program. And so here you go. It says, Nintendo Creators Program, updated user guide, live stream broadcasts on YouTube. Thank you for using the Nintendo Creators Program. We've updated the Nintendo Creators Program user guide with information on how revenue generated during live stream broadcasts on YouTube will be handled in the Nintendo Creators Program. Live streaming on YouTube falls outside the scope of the Nintendo Creators Program. This means that you cannot broadcast content on YouTube Live from the account you have registered to the Nintendo Creators Program. Please check the user guide for details. Thank you for your ongoing support of Nintendo Creators Program. As YouTube continues to evolve, we will work to provide you timely information to help you manage your account with the Nintendo Creators Program. What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
2 steps forward, 5 steps back.
Why?
Classic Nintendo.
Why?
I don't know, man. It's one of those things where, so banning it, I can't even really rationalize that in my head. I think the only reason that they would is you can't really control live streams when it comes to embargoes and stuff. That gets even more complicated when it's like, oh, well, you can put up an 11-minute video, but your stream can be this long and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't. All right, let me take a step back here.
Take it back. Dial it back.
When Nintendo is like, hey, here's the embargoes, here's the rules on how we're going to let you stream or do whatever, every time we get a game, it's always like, you can have a max of 10 minutes, and you can't show menus, and you can't have this cutscene, and you can't do this and that.
Similar to how you went and saw Super Mario.
Yep.
And they're like, you're going to play for an hour and a half, you get to use 10 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
And not from this world.
You can't do that live, because you need to be able to edit. There's no way that you're going to know when a menu pops up or when a cutscene's going to trigger, and that would be an impossible situation to live switch that back and forth, especially if you're just a streamer doing this stuff. Now, here's a situation where they're not dealing with embargoes. These are games that these people have. That was the thing, right?
Like, you would probably be more versed, first off, being the YouTube guy, let alone the Nintendo guy in the Creators Program. Creators Program, I thought was, hey, Nintendo, I make YouTube videos. I like to play games on YouTube. I'm going to sign up for this program, and I give you 30% of the revenue, and I take 70%?
That sounds right.
Okay.
But actually, I don't know about that. I think it's closer to 50-50.
Okay. Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong.
On the actual details of the Nintendo. I mean, it's changed over time too. Like there's been so much with the Creator Program, and all it is Nintendo profiting off of IP that they own.
Yeah.
Like from a business standpoint, I totally get it.
Sure.
It is technically a smart move because they're going to make money and they get to control the message and all that stuff. From a usability and from a 2017 community level, come on, guys. Like, just give into this. Like, concede this.
Well, it's that thing, too, where, like, when the Creators Program launched, I remember being like, that's incredibly stupid, petty. I don't know. Now, I wasn't angry, but I'm like, come on, that's a dumb move, a dumb decision. And it's settled, and I've forgotten all about it. You know what I mean? And we put up YouTube videos, and I'm not sure if we're getting claimed based on how
they totally get claimed.
Do they?
Just,
okay.
We are lucky that we run our business through Patreon.
Yeah.
So
and tips and Twitch subs.
Absolutely. Like, all of those things that's the revenue that we look at. We make money on YouTube. Like we make good money on YouTube, but we need that money to have our employees and all that stuff. And a lot of people ask us recently. Yeah,
a
lot of people have been asking on Reddit and stuff where it's like, oh man, like is the ad apocalypse affecting Kind of Funny? Oh yeah, it definitely is. We're getting demonetized left and right for things that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
like the example I keep using is a Game Over Greggy show topic called "What is Movie Pass?" with a thumbnail that was just a movie theater. Demonetized before it even went live.
To bring this up to speed, there might be people who are out there who are more games focused than YouTube focused. The adpocalypse has been YouTube's new thing, right? Where it's got knee-jerk reactions to metadata that are saying that's not advertiser friendly, so you can't monetize this.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like no one really knows exactly what they're searching through, but it sounds like they're doing actual audio scrubs listening for swear words. That's the only reason that I can think. Yeah, because we curse all the time.
Yeah.
And they deem that not friendly to advertisers. And it's this whole thing. So yeah, like we're definitely taking a huge hit from that stuff. So the Patreon stuff goes such a long way. But Nintendo was just doing that personally for a long time, where they would be. That's what the Creator Program is where for us, for example, like we're not part of the Creator Program because being part of it limits you in other ways. Like you're not allowed to have certain things. And it's like, well, we're not going to do that. So they get 100% of our Nintendo videos. Well, again, we're lucky that we
of course,
don't need to care about that.
And stuff, and that's
we're about the content. We're not about making the money off of that content.
So right here, then, the deal here is with what this new thing is basically if you do this, you're not going to be part of the program, and then we take all the money.
Yeah.
Okay. Just spelling it out for people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my thing is, I don't even know. I don't know the details, and it's going to roll out, and we'll see how this actually affects things. This sounds like they're just straight up not allowing it. So it might not even be you get they make money off of you. They might like give you a strike. And then if you get 3 strikes on YouTube, your channel's gone.
Sure.
1 strike means you can't live stream at all, any content.
Yeah.
So this could like fundamentally cripple YouTube streamers, like game streamers that are like variety streamers that stream a whole bunch of things. It's like if they were to stream a Nintendo game, theoretically, Nintendo could give them a strike and then they're done.
Interesting. I don't like it. But again, like you said, and like we've talked about with Campo Santo and PewDiePie a couple weeks ago, like they do own the IP, right? That is within their realm of responsibilities and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is it's not owed to people at all. Like I understand that people are, putting their own creative spin on it and whatever, but they're still using someone else's IP.
Yeah. Tim? Mm-hmm. This Creators Program stuff really boils my hash. Mm-hmm. And I love to play video games to get my hash unboiled. Okay. If I wanted to go find out what games were in the mom and grop digital shops and what nots, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Hit it, GMI. Yeah. I hope that came through. I know these mics have an interesting gate. Out today! Divided We Fall on PC, Mac, and Linux. The Hunter, Call of the Wild on Xbox One, and the Norwood Suite on PC, which sounds like it's a bunch of cool spreadsheets for all you PC dorks to play with. I'm just kidding. Everybody calm down. Everybody be chill. It's not a big deal. God. New dates for you, Tim. This is a big one. Joy Noel might have died. Stardew Valley comes to Switch this Thursday.
This Thursday.
For $15.
Woo!
It's
gonna be a game changer.
Now it's on your platform.
My problem right now is Golf Story.
Yeah.
I still haven't touched it.
Oh,
and then I had
whoa.
that moment where I'm like, Cuphead or Golf Story, and I was like, I gotta go Cuphead. So I don't know. It might be a while.
But you are going to try it. You're going to play it here? Because is this a game?
I don't know about Stardew.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like something up my alley.
Okay. Yeah. I had tried it for real quickly on PlayStation, then I quickly got sidetracked with other things. But on Switch, especially this week, going to that New York thing, fly out, play Golf Story, download this, Stardew, play it, going to Palm Springs, then play it coming back.
See, my next flight is to Austin, October 20th.
Right.
Or something like that. So I'm rolling the dice. I am praying that we get that Mario Odyssey code early. Because that would be real
That's in the window of possibility, right?
I know.
Because 27th is the release
27th,
date?
I think, yeah.
So a week out. That's really close. That might happen.
Yeah. So I'm
also, speaking of really close, the trophies for South Park popped last night on PSN.
Oh my God.
And I was like, here we fucking go, boy.
When is that?
That is the 16th. Kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong. I'm pretty sure it's October 16th.
Whoa.
Or 17th. Well, yeah, what would be the next Tuesday or whatever, right? That'd
Good
be,
Lord. It's coming.
now I'm checking. Hold on. Now you got me thinking. And I don't like thinking. You know, I hate thinking.
I know you hate thinking.
I don't want to be a part of
I
this
do
at
too.
all.
I get it.
Google Calendar's open
We've
up.
all been there.
17th. October 17th would be the day. Unless I'm totally
Too many
wrong.
games, man. Too many damn games.
Can't wait. So close. And then Neo is coming to PC via Steam as Neo Complete Edition on the 7th of November. This gets all the DLC and enhanced graphical modes.
Awesome.
Oh, no. In the haste of getting Greg Miller Industries off the ground today, I didn't check to see if we had sponsors. We do probably, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. All right, cool. Here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You read the first reader mail question. This is
Okay.
reader mail. Of course, write into kindoffunny.com/KFGD. While you do that, I'll look up the sponsor stuff over here.
Awesome.
See what we got going on.
Yes. It is DraftKings.
You sure? Is it just one?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on about A-Rock's Jesus Christ in back there? What happened?
Slowly losing my shit.
What's happening?
The infrastructure of Sony's PlayStation Network is basically it's trying to ping the server for notifications that are like from years old, even though they probably just have it in the database. And it's gotten so bad that Jen's profile just like it doesn't even nothing shows up now. Not even her profile picture. It's trying to load that too. So yeah.
Good job, PSN.
PSN, shout out to
Always
you.
out there. Always on it.
Over.
Burn it down. Start it over. Let us change our names.
It's time for Reader Mail. Good day, Greg, and insert other host here.
That's you.
It's me. It's Tim. On the topic of Forza 7's crates and microtransactions, there was actually another very big issue that was missed on Friday's show, which is VIP membership, an add-on that cost around $20. Previously, with VIP, you received a permanent 100% boost to credit earned on all races. Now, however, you get a mod that can be used for only 25 races. I've had the VIP membership for the last 3 Forza games, and it has been great. Gives a decent boost to the CR you earn in the game, so you never really feel like you have to grind too much to get the nice car that you want. The other big change they've made in Forza 7 is that cars are gated behind a kind of leveling up system that requires you to buy cars to increase your collection level before you can get into the really fast/exotic cars. This system means that you need to spend heaps of money on cars you don't want to then not be able to afford the cars you do want when they become unlocked. I've been a massive Forza fan since the first game. I used to be a big part of the IGN board's Forza community. Just got attacked by a fly. Scraping through screenshot to try and compile car list and uploading articles from magazines exclusive to Australia to share the latest news. But seeing all these new changes to the game has left me not wanting to buy a game that is usually the highlight of my year. There's no real question here. I just wanted to help spread the unfortunate news so that other best friends are more informed if they're looking to buy Forza 7. Cheers from down under, Ryan. P.S. You guys are kind of funny or amazing. I listen every day and will often be seen walking down the street laughing like a maniac. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
Are you up to date on the microtransaction firestorm that continues to rage through video games?
Not up to date on it. I've been seeing there's been some hullabaloo.
It's always the thing, you know, on Friday's show, Danny's last show, we talked about this Forza business where, yeah, they have this weird loot crate thing. There was an article that was posted on Ars Technica that we read from, and people were really mad, and the internet was really mad about it, as they are with most microtransactions, whether it be what's happening with NBA, you know, lately, or with Destiny and stuff to that. One reader did write in, but I was unable to verify, saying that this microtransaction business that's in Forza 7 was in Forza 6, and nobody had a problem with it then. The loot box thing. Not everything that's getting talked about here by Ryan. And also it was the fact that I couldn't find that information when I was looking around, and the fact that it was just one person telling us that. I think that there was more to it than that, but I do want to put that out there as somebody who doesn't play Forza but wanted to bring up the loot crate business. So yeah, that's Ryan giving you a different perspective on it in terms of here's more information.
Yeah.
That was really, I think, a good lead into, though, to this question. Submitted by an advocate for money-hungry corporations.
Oh God, here we go.
kindafunny.com/KFGD. It's a loaded name, obviously. His letter's interesting because it is talking about a grander thing. Not any of this on the minutia of Shadow of War, NBA, Destiny, or now Forza. But I'll turn it back over to the advocate. Greg and Tim. Lots of talk the last few weeks on the anti-consumer nature of microtransactions in recent games. I don't disagree with the anti-consumer points that seem to be dominating the conversation in our gaming consumer-centric bubble. However, I am discouraged that the other side of the coin seems to be getting ignored in our conversations. Are microtransactions a step being taken by publishers to better monetize their products? Absolutely. But why is that anti-consumer? We seem to be upset about the idea of EA, Activision, Microsoft, etc., making more money off of games. But this is an essential ingredient to keeping the video game industry that we love so much thriving. We make statements like, quote, you have to imagine this decision is purely coming from the publisher and not the developer, end quote. However, it is the publisher's money that's keeping all those people on the development side employed. These are the same people, Greg, that you stood up on stage and thanked at the Game Awards. We can thank developers all we want and continue to buy their games. But if publishers start to not see the return they need to continue investing in games, they are going to pack up their bags and start investing in non-video game products. Hello, Konami. What would happen to all those developers' jobs if that was to happen? We also celebrate when publishers take a risk and invest in new IP or independent type projects. Things like EA announcing a way out at E3 this year. In order for this to happen, other games in the portfolio need to make enough of a profit so that the money is left over for these investments as well. Bottom line, these publishers are the companies that are investing the most time, money, energy, thought power, and enthusiasm into the video game industry. These publishers have done a lot more good for the industry than bad, and if they want to go, and if they all go away, what would happen to the industry? What would happen to the quality of games? What would happen to the livelihood of developers? What would happen to the innovation of our industry? You need to spend money to make money. You need to make money to spend money. Yes, publishers are looking to make more money off of games, but that money is being reinvested back into games, something we should all be happy about. These points are not supposed to be read with the reaction, quote, well, what? We should just sit back and let publishers continue to pump microtransactions into games until they are charging us for bullets and Destiny? But as a reminder that there is always more than one side of the story, and conversations can only be enhanced if we take the time to step back and consider other perspectives. Love all the team does. Keep it up. Advocate, what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think it's a well-written letter.
Absolutely.
Definitely talking about it. And the problem with the microtransaction conversation as of late is the war of extremes, where it is the people jumping to, this is going to break the game, this is the worst thing, Forza's taking all this back and hiding it, you can't play NBA without it. I think, as I've said before on the show, microtransactions can be used responsibly and be fine. And for the most part of games they're in, they're fine. Honestly, we all got really bent out of shape about Destiny 2 and the shaders and the bright engrams and having to spend silver. And it was one of those things that it hasn't affected me. I think I did when I first got there. I think I did one to see if when we were talking about it, to see, all right, well, how many shaders do you get? And I got some, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I never did it again. And I love Destiny, and I put a whole bunch of hours into it, and it's never been a detriment. I wish my character looked cool. I wish the shaders worked differently, but it's definitely a microtransaction that's cosmetic that I don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
In the long run. Of course, NBA 2K18 though, the other side of the coin, right? Where like your progress is being impeded. Clearly, you need to get this VC they want you to spend to do all these different things. I think you can use microtransactions responsibly. I think they can be put into a game. I think Destiny is an example of, maybe one day I'm going to buy a bunch of silver just because I'm like, wow, fuck, it's 150 hours in and I'm still playing this game and why not do it? But I don't know.
Yeah. I catch a lot of flack for this because I tend to be more on the side of this letter, just because I understand the side of the business and of trying to monetize things and being like, oh, we could make more money off of this if we did this, this, and this, which allows us to do more things. And it comes from a good place. It doesn't come from this greedy, I need more. It comes from, at least in my perspective, I want us to grow. I want to be able to do better stuff and go from there.
Oh, you're talking about you personally.
Yeah,
Kind of funny.
exactly. Right. So it's like when I look at that, because I think about it, and people know Kind of Funny's products. They understand. They see the ads. But my thing is, they've also seen changes in it over the years. You've
seen the money reinvested.
That definitely.
My apologies.
But what I'm saying is, when the audience doesn't like something that we're doing, when it comes to ad reads or when it comes to the way that we're tiering Patreon or whatever, we adjust. We change it because we're listening, and it's like we're not trying to fuck over the consumers. We're trying to give them more of what they want in a way that makes sense. To keep going, right?
Sure.
And so when I look at this, it's like I feel like we're still in this learning process with
100%.
a lot of the publishers and developers where like there's bad guys. There's definitely bad guys. There's people that are out there that are just fucking shilling, trying to make money, and that is the bottom line, is them making money. That's no good. But there's so many more that are out there that are just trying to make more products, do cool stuff, and grow it. And I think that they're not always going to get it right. In fact, they're probably going to get it wrong more often than not. I imagine that this problem will get better in the coming years.
Yeah.
I think the next round of games that with microtransactions are going to be way better than anyone we've seen before. But guess what? There'll be another problem. There'll be some new thing that has the same issues. We saw this before with map
Season
packs.
passes.
But even before season passes, it was like map packs where it would splinter communities and divide people based on the haves and have-nots of it. It fucked up the game. And I think that we've already seen people learn from that and come up with ways to have free things to make sure that everybody is growing with the game together. So I don't know. I feel like this is definitely an issue in a lot of ways, and I think that you're right. It is extremes where people get caught up in it when you see the headline and you don't play the game, so you don't know how it actually affects those people. Because
Forza is a great
all
example.
this Forza shit, I don't fucking know, whatever.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean there's not a systematic problem there,
Sure.
And I think that it is important for people to be aware that there is an issue and that we need to talk about it and figure out a way that it can work within every game's ecosystem in a way that community is going to react well to it and not hate it. Because if the community of the game is cool with it and likes it, that is what's important, not the people that don't play the game.
Exactly. Yeah. You're back to my argument always about season passes, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, people can be mad that there's a season pass out. Were they ever going to buy it? Were they ever actually going to do it? I think the hardcore fans of that genre, that game, will get in there and do it. But then there's just, these examples of, clearly, I think an NBA game's a bridge too far from everything you've heard or seen or anybody talk about. It's like, well, no, that shouldn't be run that way. I think it's an interesting point, and like you bring it up a little bit of like, it's about making more money and doing these things. And I don't think it's coincidental, right, that you're seeing microtransactions, I would say, and loot drops and loot crates and all this kind of stuff, right, were a big part of free-to-play games, and that's where it starts, right? Because how do we monetize free-to-play games? How do we keep the servers on? How do we do all that stuff? Yeah. Of course, you go this way and you do that, and for the most part, if you're playing a free-to-play game, you're expecting that, and I hope it's not gating real content. I hope it's not doing this thing, whatever. I think it's interesting, but telling the fact that the games we're talking about now doing this right are 2K, are EA, are Activision, are the ones where there is a big publisher behind it. Because for that, it is, how do you make your game stand out in a big AAA publisher? How do you make someone look at it and go, oh, we need to invest more in game X next time around? You need to say, look how much money we've made. And that's why I think people are doing this, because they want to stand out so they can make the next game better. And so there is, at the seed of this, all right, cool, how do we make game X the biggest thing at publisher Y?
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That is, we want to be the most successful game here, and how do we do that, and blah, blah. But it is that people now are going into unexplored territory in terms of how do you do this with a non-free-to-play game?
It's a balance.
Because it does...
I don't think anyone's nailed it yet.
No, not at all. And I do think it ruffles feathers, obviously, because it is... hey, we are already a big AAA game. Hey, we already cost $60. I think the next step for somebody who can be super successful at microtransactions in the AAA $6 box game space is to get ahead of it. Where, hey, I'm putting out this game, it's a sequel, it's this thing, we're putting in these loot crates. Let me explain why. Greg Miller, who, has been in the industry a decade and doesn't know much about it. Games take longer. The development teams are bigger. And I'm talking about AAA box games. Development teams are bigger. They cost more money. We aren't making as much money as we were before. You're seeing, it's what we talk about the Switch all the time, right? Where it's like, hey, there's all these awesome indies. They're the ones making up the week-to-week releases usually, and then it's a AAA tentpole game a few times a year. Something like that. I think that there's an honest conversation that could happen a complete no bullshit thing, whoever it needs to be from whatever publisher, of look at CD Projekt Red and The Witcher 3, right? They're able to come out and give you all this free DLC, blah, blah, blah. It's because they're this one developer that's doing it extremely well and running it like this with this ship and these projections. We are a small piece of this much larger pie, and we need to justify our existence to everyone out there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the way you get it to explain it to consumers, where it doesn't look like, hey, I'm Activision and I'm going in your pocket for more money because I did lock away something incredibly interesting and valuable that you had in the game before.
Yeah.
There's so many different sides to this, trying to figure it all out. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. Jamie Thiessen writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD to continue this line of questioning. It says, WWE 2K18 showed off a trailer for their Road to Glory mode today. To my surprise, they showcased their loot boxes. They did not explicitly say anything about them, but with 2K at the helm, you have to assume they will want more money. When is it going to be too much? I feel like 2017 is the year of the loot box, and I feel no one has done it right. To be clear, to Jamie's point, read this question, went and watched the video. It is like opening loot boxes that are saying it was like your weekly reward. So it looks like that is based on progression. Will there be buy $20 worth of whatever WWE money to unlock another loot? Maybe, kind of, who knows? When the games get out there, we'll know. Me and Cool Greg's still excited about this game. We're going to be playing a lot of it. I think this is a great example of it, though. And when is too much enough? I feel like, 2017, especially the last few months, have been this lightning rod of this, where everyone is talking about this, everyone knows about this. 2K, I don't think, regardless of what they're doing in WWE, has to know going forward for NBA 2K19, we got to fucking change that. We have to do this. We have to balance that. I think this is the year, especially with people like Jim Sterling putting up videos, and then the articles you are seeing. Everyone's hip to the game that we're starting to slide off the wrong side of the slippery slope here. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know what's WWE is going to be, but the fact that you, Jamie, watched this trailer, saw this, what's just supposed to be a fun reward box rewarding you for playing, and now you're worried and popping off about it and coming out, I think that's all you really need to know, that's where people are. We're so gun shy right now about it. It'll be interesting to see how they phrase it. My apologies. Tim. Mm-hmm. Where do I want to take you now? You know what I mean? Because I like taking you on trips sometimes. Happy to have you here. All right, let's go to. We've been doing a lot of serious questions. Let's keep that going.
Oh, all right.
Lost the Number says, "Good Monday, kind of funny. Games Daily hosts. Over the weekend, the European Splatfest was all about toilet paper. People were split over Team Toilet Roll should hang in front and Team Toilet Roll should hang behind. Andrea Renee, the hardest working woman in show business, not her real name, announced via Twitter she is Team Hang in the Front. Where do you come down on this divisive issue?
Where do you come down?
Honestly, this is one of those things that when people started arguing about it, I was like, oh, this is a thing?
So here's my thing. I knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
I know people are very passionate about this. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
As long as I can get this toilet paper and use it how I need to use it, it's fine. I guess if I had a preference, I'd rather the back just so you can get that nice rip.
Oh, see, I was thinking, I went the opposite, where I've never sat down in the toilet and really thought about it or whatever, like how it's going. I would say hanging in the front is what naturally looks like toilet paper to me. Like, hanging in the front.
But see, that's fashion over function. Which
really?
Maybe I'm going to change my mind. I'm a fashion over function guy.
Yeah.
Maybe from now on, I'll be a front hanger.
Come here, Andy. Get
in here.
Andy Cortez, everybody. Party mode is new party mode shirt.
So is this a Splatoon? Are we talking about the Splatoon things or whatever?
Show the shirt. Cheat out and show the shirt.
There's the shirt. Okay. The problem with behind is that there is an area there is a line of sight issue where it could be missing in the back. Like it could be hanging in the back and you wouldn't know that it's there. If you do it over, there's never an area where it isn't visible. If it's resting on top, you see the line there, right? Or if it's like it's just gonna hang, right? But if it's behind, there's an area, Tim. Mm-hmm. This is the wall, right? There's an area where it could be like kind of.
But my thing is, I never grab the first one as my pull. I usually do like a little. You know what I mean?
See, eliminate the step.
I roll the
step.
But I like to know. I like to get how long I want out there before I rip.
You don't even gotta do that.
Then I do the wrap around.
You see, yeah, you're adding steps. You just with it over, you could just rip. As opposed to like, let me fucking find where this thing's
I guess
at.
I'm also not really in a rush. Like, this isn't one of those things that I'm like, oh man, how can I get out of here faster? I'm like, I feel like I got it down pretty well.
I was never a man to be in a rush either, but now Jen's got me on the clock and stuff. Where she'll yell like, you've been done pooping for a while. And I'm just like, all right, I've been checking my phone, just chilling out. You know what I mean? Like, I like that private time.
That's
away
weird.
from her, no Portillo.
I'm not down with that.
What do you mean?
I'm not down with her judging what you do or do not do in the bathroom.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Give your man some space.
She's very obsessed with pooping. It's interesting. Didn't see that coming from this beautiful woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she like revealed it on the first date, and I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I guess you're right. I've heard her talk about pooping a lot.
Yeah. She calls it caca, you know?
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, she'll
Reminds
announce
me of
it
Kevin's
every time.
mom.
Well, I can't help. I'm sorry that they use the same kind of language. Greg Miller Industries, folks. Where do we come down? Snow Mike, where you a front or back roller?
I'm a front roller.
A-Rock?
I will say front, but I'll also say Andy has thought way too much about this.
Cheeks, where are you coming down?
It's got to be front because if it's back, it's disgusting because they're wiping and they're touching the toilet paper. So the next person's gonna have to use the toilet paper from the last person that the person touches it. The last if it's from the back, then the next person's gonna have be touching. Does that make sense?
No.
It's gross.
No. I'm not usually going back for more toillet paper.
Y'all
I'll
nasty.
say the next person will
Yeah, see, don't worry about it. Just keep doing. Well, how many friends I got left right now?
7.
Woo! All right, we're halfway there. All right. I like where your head's at. Tim, you pick a question. You're looking through it. You find anything you like?
Let's do this one right here. Unknown source V1 says,
Gotcha.
hello, Greg. And you said probably Tim, question mark. The answer is yes. New Switch owner here. Got to get ready for that Mario Odyssey. Haven't bought a Nintendo since the GameCube era. I like how he called it the GCN. That was always weird. The Nintendo abbreviated it GCN instead of NGC.
Never a fan of that.
I don't know. As expected, SNES classics are sold out, but retailers and Reggie are saying more on the way. Does more classic consoles being manufactured mean Nintendo is in no rush to get us that virtual console library on Switch? Like all of you, I'm now waiting eagerly for that announcement. Thanks, longtime patron, and Games Daily alone is worth it. Everyone else is like a sweet, sweet bonus. That's you guys.
Thank you.
I feel like I could talk about this virtual console nonsense all day.
I feel like we talk about it every few months.
We talk about it all the time. I don't know who I want to talk to about it, but I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to have some people that are more in the know than we are. To
So you mean someone from Nintendo?
Either someone
or you
from
mean
Nintendo or somebody that
like
just
a Jason
like
Schreier who has his ear to the ground?
Yeah, I want like a Jason Schreier. Like, dude, what do you know?
Yeah, okay.
Let's really get in there because maybe even a Per Schneider because he knows Nintendo.
Pear doesn't know shit.
Per doesn't know shit, but he knows.
Pear's gonna
shit.
get out there and do what we do, where he's like educated guesses based on what's happening.
But that's what I'm saying. I want somebody that thinks about this the way I think about this.
Okay.
This has kept me up at night, Greg. No joke. Like I've thought about this, and I've thought long and hard about what the fuck they're doing. Like there has to be a plan. There has to be some reason that it's being all weird and cagey, because they've done it. If it was such a success with the Wii, and it was another one of the few good things the Wii U had. Why? The 3DS had it. Why not? Why not now? They even really care
Focus
about
on
the
future.
The new
Focus
3DS.
on the future.
That's
Why
not
don't my fucking PS3, PSN
You're telling me
games work on
Nintendo's going to
PS4?
focus on the future? I don't buy it. There's too much history.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that there's this new arcade archives thing.
Archives.
That's what it is, right? Arcade archives.
yeah,
I think,
you're right.
coming out. That's an interesting wrinkle as well.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a virtual console. Those things are happening. They're not necessarily games that everybody has been clamoring for, but it begins. I still think that the virtual console lineup is not going to happen, or announcement or whatever it isn't going to happen until Nintendo's online service officially launches.
Sure.
And they've already said that there will be Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games available. So they've already confirmed it's going to happen in some form.
Yeah.
the question is when. And I was talking to you about it, and like last time I talked about it on the show, my theory is that they know that the eShop launch or the virtual console launch, there'll be a lot of excitement for it, and they will get people to buy Super Mario Brothers for the 10th time. So they want as many Switches in the wild as possible. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is they want to get these things into the hands of a sizable amount of people, so that when they do have their launch, whatever it looks like, people are like, I'm going to buy them all.
I think that's the thing that makes the most sense, is the fact of let's not get in the way of the NES Classic. Let's not get in the way of the SNES Classic. We don't need this. Like, they planned this thinking they'd be a success, and shockingly they are, where it's like, I have so many great indies, and Stardew Valley, and Mr. Shifty, and Golf Story, and all these different things out there to play. There's 17 was it 18 games last week on Thursday that got put on the eShop. It's like, I don't think you're not in the desert, so thirsty anymore. Now it is that thing of like, I'm waiting for Mario and I can't wait. I think you get to the holidays, the Switch is the biggest best-selling console of the holiday. Then we get into the new year and we do a Nintendo Direct and lay out what next 2018 looks like, and real release dates, and what's coming, and here's a Smash, and here's Mario Maker, here's whatever.
And that's a key thing too that I also want to have someone like Per on to talk about, is really looking at what? Oh,
I was acting like I had a feud with Per.
No. But no, it's just like Per knows Nintendo so well. Like, I want to look at the future of them and kind of see, now that they've had a lot of their big franchises, even though most of them have been ports, like, we're already in year one exhausting a lot of the IP. So when you get to 2018 and beyond, what does that look like? Where is the Smash a port, or is it a new game? When is Animal Crossing coming? When is Pokemon coming? We know Metroid. But then you start going further. It's like, are we going to get a Star Fox? Are we going to get a F-Zero? Are we going to, like, that's where the questions start. Yeah. Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, like all of this, Mario Party, like all of these spin-offs and stuff. It's like, how does the line, new IP, like, where does everything fall? We already know Kirby. We already know Yoshi. I feel like Virtual Console will fit that month that there isn't something, where they're like, all right, in the fall we got all this stuff, we ran out of stuff, we can't do the every month we have a tent pole. The tent pole this month is Virtual Console. Let's make a really big deal out of it.
That sounds right. That sounds real. And I mean, having in hands to sell those games when they come out, and having it at a point when the momentum is slowing down a bit, makes a lot of sense. Because it is a new announcement that then becomes so easy. Of like, cool, Virtual Console's here. Here's your first 7 games on it, and then every couple weeks put 3 more out and get those headlines that, hey, this is finally there. This is finally there.
There's so many questions, and it's so interesting. I think back to our predictions going into that January event, where they really did the blowout of the Switch, and how I was so sure they were going to be like, and here's our Virtual Console plan, and here's what they're going to do. And then they didn't. And it made me question more and more and more. Like, every day that passes, I'm like, what is this actually going to end up being? Because there is a chance, although slim, that they don't do, that they're trying to, maybe they stay away from the Virtual Console name entirely. Yeah. They don't do the same thing they've done multiple times now, which is the slow trickle of games where everyone's like, where's Mario RPG? Why is Mario 1 and 2 here and not 3? Where's this? Like, it's like, that stuff isn't fun. They need to come out, and like they've done that too many times. And I think that the Switch needs to be different. It needs to be, hey man, all the Mario games are out today. All the Zelda games are out next week. Like, if they make events that way, that's way better than just who the fuck knows what's happening. Who knows when we're going to get these games that we just want to fucking get again. Like, come on. So, who knows?
I'm on the fence about doing another question or just moving on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. Snow Mike, you want another question, or should I just move on?
Let's do another.
All right, we're going to Alex. Alex wrote in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, on Friday's show, someone wrote in asking if you guys thought FIFA would ever be crossplay on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. And you guys said no, which I agree with. However, do you think someone, and let's say Microsoft, would try to strike up an agreement with Nintendo to make this happen? It seems like the same question, but it seems like it would be mutually beneficial for each company. I primarily play on my PlayStation 4, but if Microsoft were to announce that I could play Wolfenstein both at home and transfer my save to the Switch, I would definitely be buying it on Xbox and Switch. Seems like it could be a game changer for these two companies. Alex, I think you poked a hole in a similar question before, so I'll let you go.
I don't remember what you're referring to. But I just don't think that this would ever happen, just from a logistics standpoint, where there's too much back-end shenanigans going on, and there's too much different systems between the ecosystems with trophies or lack of achievements or this or that, whatever you want to call it, based on the different systems. And also just with the different, abilities of the games, where it runs better here than there. Like, let's just be real. Like, the Switch version's not going to keep up with the other systems, but... I don't know. I don't see this ever happening.
I thought it was you that once told me when we discussed something to this effect, and maybe it wasn't, was a big part of this is that Nintendo would never cede the ground that they're not a console.
Oh.
They don't want the Switch to be thought of as a handheld.
And
granted,
you're right.
we all use it primarily, I would assume, kindoffunny.com/KFGD, as a handheld. They'll never give up that ground. They want to be thought of, even though they're going in a different direction that's going really well. They don't want to be thought of like that. They want to be thought of as
the third pillar.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the other thing is either way, that would also be Xbox admitting they need help beating PlayStation or competing with PlayStation. I don't think they'd want to do that. I think Nintendo's super successful right now in terms of numbers even, and I don't think they're ready to give it up in terms of like, well, no, let's team up to go after. It's an interesting thing, and I know you could, look at Minecraft. It's like, Microsoft owns Minecraft. They want that everywhere. They do want to thumb Sony in the eye, I think, a little bit about that. They're like, hey, everybody else is playing nice. Why don't you?
Yeah. Interesting idea, though.
Yeah.
It'd be a beautiful world if we could all just get along. But.
I know, right? But we can't. Ladies and gentlemen, Reader Mail was brought to you by DraftKings. You were right, Tim. Good job. Football season has begun, but it's not too late to get closer to the game you love with DraftKings 1 Week Fantasy Football. This Sunday, DraftKings is hosting a $100,000 contest that is totally free to enter. With DraftKings, there are many ways to play. Choose between public contests with big cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against a group of your friends. DraftKings also has beginner and casual contests that you'll play a whole bunch of people and they'll be your same skill level. And you'll never burn up the waiver wire trying to replace injured players because you get to pick the team each and every week. That's the beauty of 1 Week Fantasy on DraftKings. So, get to DraftKings.com now and use the promo code KINDOFFUNNY, all one word, to play in DraftKings' free contest for $100,000 in total prizes this Sunday. That's promo code KINDOFFUNNY to compete for your share of $100,000 in total prizes. The contest is totally free to enter. Why wouldn't you try? A shoe? DraftKings. The game inside the game. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Tim?
Yes.
I'm going to squad up.
Squad up,
Will
Greg.
you find out what we got wrong?
I did.
Squad up is a simple thing where you write into kindoffunny.com/KFGD. You tell me your name, your platform, your username, and why you need help. I read it here. Best friends find you. You all play together and have a great time. Alex Himes writes in. He needs help on PlayStation 4, and his username is CustomAlex01. That's the numeral 01. He's also American, I assume. There's not any extra U's in custom. I don't know if they put them over there. You know what I mean? Amy Gills, tell me if you put extra U's and stuff. CustomAlex01. Hi, Greg. I love Injustice 2 and really enjoy it, and I am grinding a lot to get my characters up to level 20. And now, with my wife working nights, I can now play more once my daughter is asleep and would love some best friends to play with. I am nowhere near a pro at fighting games, but above average sometimes. So I would enjoy other players to fight with or to join a clan. I haven't found any kind of funny clans yet. Thank you for the help. Keep up the good work. Love the show. CustomAlex01. Tim?
Yes.
We record this show live. If we screw stuff up, we tell people to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Correct us there. Then everybody listening later on YouTube and podcast services gets an unadulterated podcast. What did we screw up?
Xanther Sarah says the new HDR PSVR is coming October 14th.
Damn, I totally didn't get that out of that FAQ. Thank you.
The new version of PlayStation VR will be released in a PlayStation VR with PlayStation camera bundle for 44,980 yen or $400. Big Daddy Wolf says Cuphead has 3 worlds and a finale. Wow, I'm a lot farther than I thought I was. And you can completely customize the controls to map any action. Yes, you can. I didn't mention that. Slick Rick says to add to the Cuphead corrections, the game has a button to lock Cuphead in place so you can fire in any direction, including diagonally. I know that, but it only works in 8 different directions. It's either up, down, left, right, or the 4 diagonals. You can't get anywhere in between. It's not that full analog 360 control. It's a big difference.
I'm drawing a back.
Blanket Ford 83 says toilet paper was patented in 1891. The patent shows that it should hang in the front.
Damn right.
And then G. Warner says, fact, toilet paper has nothing to do with video games, so I'm not sure why this was a question on Kind of Funny Games Daily.
It came up in Splatoon, sir. It was in the Splatfest for Splatoon.
Video games.
Also, why are there 3 guys dressed just like me behind me? You don't worry about what's happening on the show, all right?
And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily for Monday, October 2nd, 2017. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can tune in live as we record it at twitch.tv/kindafunnygames or get it later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames or podcast services around the globe. Tomorrow, Tim is set to be the host again.
Yay.
We need to talk about that. Danny quit. Andrea's out running and globetrotting around. She's going to New York too. I'm going to New York.
Hosting the Nintendo World
We
Championships
gotta figure
this
out
weekend. So excited.
Is it the weekend?
I think it's on Saturday.
Okay, cool. I can't remember.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm doing a thing on Thursday, so, whatever. New York's got stuff going on. This is Greg Miller Industries. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.